right. Hello, everybody. My name is Alan Sitomer. I will be your host today for what I hope is going to be a pretty exciting webinar on academic esports. Anybody a fan of esports? Anybody see the energy? It's swept everywhere, but we have something super special and awesome in store for you today. So I'm going to share my screen right now and jump into it. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Boom. So welcome. So a bit about me and how I started this right here. So I was California's Teacher of the Year, and I work with a lot of students who are disengaged, highly capable, but you got to wake them up. You got to meet them where they are. And I have done that through hip hop. I've done that through sports. And now we're kind of talking about doing it with esports with the company I founded called Mastery Coding. We've had a lot of success reaching kids, building out curriculum and things like that. And I'm super excited to share some great stuff today. So in case you haven't heard, esports is immense. I mean, the World Series just ended and esports viewership is bigger than Major League Baseball. Like, when did that happen right there? And the universities and colleges have totally taken note. Hundreds of universities now offer scholarships. Millions of dollars are out there available. But why? Well, it's because overwhelmingly, the top computer science students in the nation, which are the most prized students by today's colleges, you know, the high school seniors that have that comp sci stuff going on, have that STEM stuff going on, they're the ones that the most elite universities are really, really hungry for. And what do they want to do when they get to campus? They're like, hey, you got esports, you got gaming, right there. I need to consider my social life. So it's kind of been the snowball effect right here. So the notion of how fast esports has just grown and who's involved, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry right now, nothing short of that. And it's touched so many different sectors of a variety of industries. So why we're kind of here today to talk about academic esports is because a lot of schools, districts, administrators, etc., they're like, I get it. My kids love it. They're just all about it right here. But like, how do I sort of start, run, form, keep like an academic team that's got some credibility, that has some efficacy? So that right there is why we have built Pathway Esports. Now, Pathway Esports is designed to be a turnkey solution that covers soup to nuts everything your campus will need to ensure you have a successful program. Of course, that begins with the coaches. And I will get a little more into the support of the coaches, but it's always the person at the front of the room that makes the greatest difference to student success. So whether you're new to esports or a veteran, like, we got you right here. SEL is huge. I'm going to get into that right there about how the kids just Zoom, the need from the pandemic to sort of have community and congregate and be met where they are. So all of that's in it. We've got cross-disciplinary lesson plans, that the literal legitimacy of a standards-based program, you're going to get that too. Health and gaming safety protocols. We don't want just kids sitting around, you know, drinking Mountain Dew, eating sort of hot, you know, flaming hot Cheetos and getting diabetes because they never get out of the chair. Like, we teach all about how to take care of yourself. And then there's equity and access. I mean, one for all for one, that type of thing. Safe space gaming, non-toxic gaming. We are unique in how we provide that. And then I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about career opportunities today. But I want to begin with the research. There are so many benefits to an academic esports program that we have created a white paper that, if you're interested in, we can circulate. I'll provide you my email at the end of this right here. But it's it's well established now that game-based learning theory, it's like a thing, and the transferable benefits across the spectrum to schoolwork, to personal relationships, to career and job readiness, to self-efficacy. There's so much data out there that we're not talking about unconscious, mindless gaming, but we're talking about like productive and proactive gaming. And that's what's so unique about our program right here. We are of the belief that, look, in life, before students need the skills, they need a vision of what they can be. And while they're playing and things like that, and they're having fun, and man, our kids have fun, but do they recognize the value that learning how to code, or learning how to stream, or becoming a shoutcaster, or maybe developing the IT skills could lead them to spending 50 years getting a high-paying job in the world of esports and gaming? So that's also baked into what we provide is vision, vision, vision. The pedagogical approach we take to our academic esports program, it's not really rocket science, but it works. We meet kids where they are and hit them with the passion, right? They love these games, but all these games were made with code. So we sort of lift the hood and we start to explore their design, and we awaken their curiosity, and then we start to teach skills once they're involved, once they're on board, and so forth. And then we avail students of participating in what we call our Game and Make program, which is an add-on to our esports program, where students can earn industry-based certifications that will set them up to attain high-paying jobs. That's kind of the format. This right here is the soul of our program right here. So in the center, you see the gaming and the games and the students, and they have a great time. But for the kids who like to tinker with auto mechanics and stuff, we try to funnel them down, like maybe the hardware and the IT support could be a career for you. Or for the kids, instead of tagging up the bathroom, maybe you could use those art skills to discover some graphic design and so forth. Or maybe you got a better idea. Maybe you want to make your own game. Okay. So you can see that we're trying to give the kids a sense of agency to discover where they might find themselves and turn their passion into a profession. That's the design of our program. And to that end, we got to go back to the coach. Who's going to coach it? Who's going to coach it? Who's going to coach it? Well, the number one thing that we do is provide a comprehensive toolkit of a host of materials that ensure your coach attains success. Because if your coach is successful, the administration and the implementation will be successful, and the team will run very smartly, and everybody will have a really wonderful time. We've got testimonials from coaches all over that we can easily provide to you. I don't want to get too deep into this right here, but we got them if you want them right there. I want to talk about, though, something for you to consider right now is, why would you want to bring an esports team to your campus? Traditionally, there are one of three objectives schools have, but then again, sometimes they have two of three, maybe even three of three, and they're not even sure what they are. So let's go over them, and you can reflect on, well, why do I have such an interest in doing this? Number one, it could be that, hey, you just want to compete, right? Like, I want the trophy. I want the 5-footer in the front of the school. I want a well-run program. I want strong coaching. I want all the value of a traditional sports team to be showcased on our campus. And that's great. We will avail you of that. There's tournaments and all this different stuff that we get you in. And bam, if you want to compete, we definitely avail you of that opportunity. On the other hand, some campuses they're really all about like the academic value I was speaking to earlier, where the opening up the emerging technologies and those career opportunities. They want the safe space, non-toxic gaming. We have student codes of conduct that are embedded in our program. We have parent permissions. We have all kinds of ways to make sure that this is not some kind of crazy event where people are violating sort of just the basic principles of civility. So that's all part of this right here. And then there's the transferable skills that are both the hard skills, the concrete can you do, as well as the soft skills that are so highly prized in today's workforce. So reaping the academic value, that's absolutely one right there also. And then thirdly, but not exclusively, is the social emotional learning right there. And it is such an immense need right now across the spectrum, because a lot of kids really just want the sense of community. They want the sense of belonging. They want the fun. And they don't see themselves in the extracurricular activities of drama or maybe the photography club or band. But if there was an esports club or a team on campus, they're like, I can fit in. And all the research shows that the kids who are involved in extracurriculars are the kids more likely to keep their grades up, to feel sort of, a part of a community and a bigger thing. And it really makes a big difference. And it's funny because just last week, we sort of caught this conversation going on in one of our gaming programs, one of our academic esports programs. And a student said, this is completely off topic, but is this what friendship feels like? And it's so funny that the other kids are like, yeah, I think so. Like, amazing. And I'm glad I made some friends. The notion of how hungry these students are for some of the things that we sort of presuppose they have in their lives, when it turns out they don't. There's a lot of validation, and this hunger for community is something that is why the funding streams are out there for the SEL component, because this is such an integral ingredient to whole child education, and we make sure we provide that. So the value of having an esports team, it's, as I said, it's all over right there, from gamer to maker to the healthy competition to the etiquette and things like that. Like, we do that. We cover that for you. So let's jump right in so you can take a look at, like, lift the hood, check it out. Firstly, there's a couple of variables as a campus that you're going to want to consider. What games are the students interested in? We have a plethora of games right there. We provide you with surveys and things like that, so you can help the students choose, which ones they want to play in. Next, hardware, software, and I'll get into that in a minute, but we help you with that. And thirdly, the goals. What are your objectives you hope to achieve? I sort of went over it a little bit ago with the objectives, but we have tools, because sometimes the objectives of the administration might not be the objectives of the coach and the students, and getting aligned is really important if you're going to have sort of a flourishing program. So we start with helping you select a team, select a game, and form a team. Okay, what are the roles? How do you set it up? Which is going to work, so forth like that. And then, as I mentioned a moment ago, different games have different hardware requirements. Different schools run it differently. So we will help you match up accordingly. If you want an after-school club that runs remotely so the students can use their consoles at home, that's different perhaps than a site that's going to run it on campus with Chromebooks, which is different from a site that's going to run it on campus in a computer lab. So there's a variety of factors. There's no way to standardize, like give you one solution right now. So we help make sure it works for you and figure out how it's going to work best. Then once we got the teams, all the hardware's aligned, we know what game we're playing, let's get ready to practice. Okay, what does a regular system look like? What's routine look like? What are we doing in practice? Is the competitive etiquette? Does everybody understand the ground rules of the game right there? We've got all these great videos. See, we run a Khan Academy style approach to our esports program where we've got a plethora of multimedia tools through our own original LMS. So there, one thing to be on the lookout for, like, how are you going to meet kids where they are? How are you going to speak their language? How are you going to work with the teachers? And if you just hand out the, 140-page PDF right there, is that really serving anybody? Maybe back in 1982, that's how you delivered curriculum. But nowadays, the way to deliver curriculum is through the proper channels, which is video, which is online resources and things like that. And that's how we provide everything to you. I've spoken about the career opportunities and exploration. This is fabric to the DNA of what we're doing. So we're going to open up and teach students about the career opportunities. We're going to teach students about the college scholarship opportunities, and we're going to help students build out their portfolios and their resume, and even conceptualize the idea of having one is just a step forward for a lot of kids. Then tournament time, baby. You want to run your own tournament, we'll help you there. You want to jump into one of our tournaments, we will help you there. So this is where, like, oh God, this is super fun, super awesome. We are there for you. Let's go back to SEL again, because it's so critical in this conversation of this day and age. Academic esports and SEL, we believe, are a perfect match, because there are the 5 core competencies right here of social emotional learning, and we provide overt lesson plans on each of the 5 competencies. And each of the bullet points you see on the screen right now includes a 5E lesson plan format with academic objectives, essential questions, work text to accompany slide presentations and multimedia video presentations, teacher does, student does, self-grading assessments. All of this is included with our academic esports program right there. And we have it on self-awareness, self-management, like being well organized. If you look at the second bullet point right there, we talk about, if you're going to be a successful teammate on a successful Rocket League team, you have to have your act together. You got to show up to practice on time. You have to, be ready in the headspace to game. Your equipment's got to be right. Like, there's so many different things that go on, but being well organized for a successful middle school student or high school student, like, this is a direct corollary to being a high-performing student in your life, in your career, in your job. If you're not well organized, right, you're going to be all over the map. So you can see about how the academic transference and the benefits of what we are teaching in esports connects to other realms that are valuable to students' lives. I spoke earlier about the notion of cooperation and equity, and social justice is so big. We've got units on being aware of your digital footprint. Oh my goodness, how significant is this? We had so many kids online, and we think just because they are online, they understand their digital footprint and how it lives forever. And yet, they haven't really taken the time to think about everything you say is going to be legacy to who you are, and you better be thoughtful. Finally, the 5th competency is about relationship skills and owning healthy communication skills. Strong teammates and strong teams communicate in a healthy way. But guess what? Strong romantic relationships communicate in a healthy way. Strong family relationships communicate in a healthy way. Strong business partnerships, strong work relationships communicate in a healthy way. I think you can see where I'm going with this, about healthy communication tools are something not exclusive to esports. They apply across a person's life. You may just decide that, you're interested in, like, after school clubs or camps. We can put it in the bell schedule. We can put it in the after school funding bucket. You can put it at lunchtime. We can embed it into a STEM class. We have the game and learn programs and opportunities that are available to you. So there's a host of different ways to use a host of different games to reach your students where they are. All of this is turnkey, includes the professional development. And have I mentioned they're fun? Have I mentioned how the students love them? Have I mentioned how the many folks that have brought us on feel really supported and awesome about having made the choice? And one thing that is very interesting is that when you start an esports program on your campus, it's like, who started the basketball team so many years ago? Because it's still around. 35 years from now, the thing you start today, it's gonna be a thing for decades going ahead. It's a paradigm shift, and the benefits available for making the shift are innumerable. So with that right there, I am gonna pop into the chat, and let's see here. We've got sort of a couple of questions here. So one of the questions is saying, this is very interesting. Excellent. Thank you very much for the comment. There's will this be recorded? Yes, yes, and yes. So we can get the information here. I'll make sure that, let's see, it's we'll get it over to you. You can share it. We're all in a good space. Not a problem whatsoever. So that is easily done. And I guess, we want to be efficient with your time, and we told you half an hour. So let's see here. There's another Q&A question. Let me pop on over there and make sure that I jump on in here. And then, what's the best way to ensure productive gaming? So that's a really, really good question. In my own personal experience, the best way to ensure productive gaming is to set the intention to have an academic esports program where the considerations of all of the things I've mentioned are at the forefront. So students just don't come into the program thinking, yo, man, grab my console, I'm in, right? They have to understand that we are working on using gaming to better them in a variety of areas of their life, whether it is the notion of learning from your mistakes or grit or resilience. There's a lot of these games that failure is the stepping stone to success. And you step up, you try something, it doesn't work. You step up, you try something, it doesn't work. You step up, you try something, it doesn't work. And then you step up, you try something new, and it does work. See, this is why it's not just apropos to Fortnite or Overwatch or Madden that approach happened. Like, that's how we're going to cure cancer. This is why gaming sort of readies those soft skills to step up and face a lot of the challenges. So that's what I mean by ensuring productive gaming on that front. So we are now at the top of the hour. I'm going to invite you, if you wish, to send us an email. You can send it to Alan, A-L-A-N, at masterycoding.com. You can see right there, Mastery Coding. So Alan at masterycoding.com, and I can provide you sort of any answers. I want to say thank you very much for spending your time with me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. Bye, everybody.